allow the children to the budget. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk through to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun Diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun Diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun Diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun Diary Politico, oh yo yo.
Hello there.
Maiyegun la mo dodododo.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Maiyegun Live.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í.
Thank you so much for joining me. Share this broadcast as you are joining, okay? Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them, Maiyegun today.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun Diary, Diary Politico.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́wọ̀
Share the broadcast.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ dodododo.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Tinubu inherited a standing dead horse. That is how Soludump or Soludol described Nigeria that Tinubu inherited from Buhari. You should share this broadcast, seriously.
Lórí Facebook,
Maiyegun today.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjú.
Maiyegun today.
Lórí YouTube,
Maiyegun today.
And yes,
somebody said that they never really wish to miss this part of the songs. Maiyegun today.
Níjó ìgbádìyẹ. And yes, right. Presido bá rúfin o. And yes, right. Gómìnà kówó jẹ. And yes, right. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí pa. And yes, right. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. And yes, right.
Thank you.
Òkúra olóṣèlú. And yes, right. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnragì. And yes, right. Maiyegun
Today. Good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Maiyegun live. Like the normal way or the ritual, the regular one is that as you are joining us, okay, you should like the broadcast, okay, share it and read the caption, read the description, the whole thing. It will take you less than a minute to do that before you settle down. It gives you the, it's like it gives you the, what do you call it? The insight into what you are about to spend your next 3 hours on. Right? And if you have done that, great. See, I took about a minute there trying to Google what a standing dead horse look like. And this is what Google brought on, okay? Standing dead horse. I don't know how to describe that, but it doesn't look like something beautiful. It's like a metaphor, which simply means you might be singing when they say a standing dead horse. In fact, let's start it this way. Solo doll, please. Let's start from him. I'll say, There you go.
So each time you say Minister of the FCT, the first thing that comes to the mind of the people is demolition. If FCT is not like Ministry of Works, it's an administration. There are very many important things than demolition that makes up administration of the FCT. Let us even start with the demolition. He said he wants to go back to the original master plan. If we may talk about the original master plan, let me tell you, Mr. Sheon, that the Aso Villa that seats the president, the seat of power, is not in the original master plan. It must go down. Because these were the things he was saying. If it is not in the master plan, it must go down. So Aso Villa must go down. Secondly, all the military barracks that you see within the FCT are not in the original master plan. In fact, the places where the military barracks are in the original plan, master plan, was supposed to be a bossa and a central parks for recreational facilities. Then the military barracks must go down. Thirdly, the famous Asokoro you are hearing at the extension, where all the governors in Nigeria, if not most of them, have either the liaison office or their private homes. They are not in the original plan. They must go down. There are many federal government assets and buildings in strategic places that are not in the original master plan.
Do you have the master plan?
I don't, but it is of knowledge. I mean, this thing were discussed over and over. Rufai talked about it. Certain association of town planners in the FCT sat and talked about it. If you are coming to the FCT, to me, what should come to your mind? President Buhari Tinubu is making all the effort to tell Nigerians, look, I am responsible, I asked for the job. And he told his ministers, I will not hesitate to sack you, you must do the work. He wants to say, I am coming with the idea of peace to do good. I think that what Governor Wike is saying is antithetical to what he's saying. For example, Governor Wike quoted what President Tinubu said at the NBA. I want to ride in Abuja Rail. Did you hear?
I decided to use that from the start anyway. But yeah, I have that clip. of Soludo's interview at the same channels. I'm coming back to that Abuja master plan and others, what he said.
You know, Your Excellency, your position is bound to elicit another round of debate, and I wonder how sustained it will be. But let's manage our time, and I want to warn you, this is a 2-in-1. First of all, there are reports that suggest that the Rwanda retreat was sponsored only to the extent that the UNDP paid for conference costs, facilitators, and the venue, that the governors actually had to bear the cost of their hotel, their aids, and their transportation. Please confirm or debunk that. Also, the administration, the president said at the NBA conference that it's not sustainable to be servicing debt with 90% of revenue. Does anything in the administration with 48 ministers suggest that there is a commitment really, to balancing it out, by servicing debt, with capital and recurrent expenditure not suffering? Is there anything that suggests the commitment of this administration to that? Let's benefit from your experience as former CBN governor on that one.
Thank you very much. I think you are really prepared this morning. Well, I think, the first part of it is the easier one, and which is about the payments. Coincidentally, I happen to have been there, and I must admit, I happen to be one of those who suggested and felt that Kigali was a better place to do this. And I'm very glad that all our colleagues, everybody felt this was fantastic, and this was a great choice of a venue to do that. Second is that, coincidentally, I didn't spend a penny. I went with 1 aide of mine, and we didn't spend a dime. Flights, I just walked into the airport to booked. They booked for me and my aide, and then we flew in there, stayed in the hotel, and checked out, and nobody asked me for to pay. I did not spend a dime because I didn't even have a chance to go anywhere else other than the structure, because it was very intensive. 3 days, from first thing in the morning till night. It ended each night again with walking dinner, either with the government officials or with their private sector. And then the third night with the president, where we spent about 4 hours with the president himself, and so on. So that wasn't even, I did not spend a dime, not 1 penny, except when we went to the genocide memorial. And they told us, after all the tour, they told us, maintaining the memorial was strictly on charity. And if anybody felt like he needed to support it, there's a basket there, you could go and drop something there, and so on. It's so nice. So if you felt like anything, if you have a loose change or whatever thing, you could go and drop in the basket. And I think some people felt, with the tears in their eyes, went to drop something there. Other than that, all expenses paid. So that's given with that. Now, with regards to the macroeconomics of this country, the macroeconomy, that's probably a subject for a whole program. And okay. I only need to say to you, and in empathy, and commiserations for the economic team of the president. This government inherited, from a macroeconomic standpoint, I would say an economy the economy was like a dead horse, but standing in macroeconomic terms. And, modeling through this over the coming months will be bumpy, no question about it. But I am glad that at least the first salvos have been, shot by the president, by his courageous step to remove the obnoxious scam that has festered over the years called petrol subsidy. and then dealing with the exchange rate.
I'm so sorry that I have to put you through all of that. Or at least that may be the worst part that you're going to watch on this program tonight. But let us start breaking it down. So the description of Nigeria microeconomy is like a standing, or a dead horse that is standing, which simply put, a lot of people don't have a clue or an idea or explanation that after what they have done to Nigeria, especially in the last 8 years of APC, after all the horrible economic decisions and ruinous policies that destroyed Nigeria micro and macro economy, in fact, destroyed Nigeria economically, these guys, they still don't kind of have the ball to say it to Tifnumbu, that Buhari, the same man that turned Nigeria into a dead horse standing. So a lot of people couldn't explain that after all of that, Nigeria is still existing right now, that people are still waking up like normal. People are still doing everything like it is normal. Nobody can explain that. And because they can't explain that, of course, they can keep going in circle and in circle to make you think they are doing something. Now, just last week, the report came that Nigeria governors, they went for a retreat in Rwanda. You know the story of Rwanda. In Africa today, after 23 years of Kagame, which you can't actually describe as a democracy, all right, the economy of Rwanda still survive on over 60% donation, foreign aid. In Rwanda, that same Rwanda, that economy of Anambra alone is bigger than the entire economy of Rwanda. Now, that's how it should be. The economy of Lagos State alone is times 100 or times 200 of the economy of Rwanda. But people like Soludomb and Soludol, they took a retreat there because they wanted to go and learn how to develop or how to blah, 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 or, all that stuff. That's why they went to Rwanda. Now, coming back to Nigeria, where the same country ruled and ruined by APC, and those who did all of this, they are still walking freely all about in Nigeria today. But the easy sell is that for Nigeria to survive the wars, they have to remove the subsidy, which according to him is a scam, that they have been scamming Nigeria of trillions of naira. But as much as everybody is saying it's a scam, where are the scammers? Where are those who collected the subsidy? And where are those who helped APC to kill Nigeria and turn it into a dead horse standing? That's from the viewpoint of Soludomb. Now, coming back to Nigeria, again, like, where, according to him, the economic team of Kolu, they are already working out some magic after, the removal of subsidy that created all this hardship and all of that, which is also a lie. Now, let me give you the background of the kind of work they are doing, at least to bring you up to date to whatever Soludol is trying to regurgitate on TV in Nigeria. He is a former central bank governor of Nigeria. He is a politician now. He lies because he has to lie to sustain the lifestyle that he and his family are currently living. The Anambra people, who they told that Anambra will become small, or Nigeria, Japan, I've been in Nigeria, China. What did Soludump tell you in Anambra? It's been almost 3 years now. Well, it's going to be 4 years soon. So when you now see somebody who happens to be an economist in Nigerian by Nigerian standard, a a sort of respected economist, a former central bank governor, who also exists in that same Nigeria, who knows better what is happening, but he's a politician. He knows Nigeria is economically dead, and he also knows, like all of them knew, when Buhari was there, and they were telling Buhari then that if not for Buhari, Nigeria would have been completely gone. While they were slaughtering Nigeria economically, the likes of Soludol and Soludom and the rest of them, then they couldn't tell Buhari that he was killing Nigeria. They couldn't. They didn't. Buhari is gone, handed over a standing dead us as a country to a sort of, well, literally dead man. I mean, somebody who has nothing upstairs to change the fortune of Nigeria. He has none. So if Soludom, an economist who knows this, decided to come around and tell you the economic team of the Mr. President, they are now working around to make sure. Now, let me tell you what they are working on, because they are not working on anything. You can't take that from me. They are not. The only thing they are working on is to create their own avenue of looting, swindling, and manipulation, which will further aggravate whatever you are going through right now. They will look for somebody to blame them. Until then, I'll tell you what thing that they do. When Buhari came in, he introduced, through the Central Bank of Nigeria, they introduced something called the round tripping. That round tripping was a way of rewarding jobless political criminals in Babariga in different, kind of luxurious attires that makes them appear like they are actually successful people when they are not. It was a kickback, a behind the scene, behind the curtain exchange rate that finally crippled Nigeria economy. Nigeria is a country that is import dependent. You know that, which means you will need more of a forex, okay, to be able to trade, since there is no investment in manufacturing, industry, and the rest of them, even in power in Nigeria. It's all what? Fraud, crime, and criminally, yeah. So what happened? After making it a sort of a hell for real businessmen to access the forex in order to trade and possibly earn more for Nigeria, or possibly help the Nigeria economy as they used to, it became a hell. And in a space of 8 years, Nigeria became a tissue paper. Now, economically, when they killed Naira, they've killed Nigeria. The likes of Soludom knows, and many like them, including Tifnumbu, who was kind of praising Buhari at the time. Another thing they did, they opened the door. NNPC Nigeria opened the door for oil thieves to continue to steal Nigeria crude oil. In the end, Nigeria lost all revenue. They had no money. They started printing money. Inflation started skyrocketing. They started fixing the figures, the statistics. They started fixing all of that. Now, why they were doing all of this, lying to themselves and lying to Nigerians, Nigerians were feeling the heat. They were wondering, what could this be all about? Like, why were they working and they are still suffering? It's not hard. You just need to look in the mirror and look at the type of criminals you are what? You are enabling. So fast forward 8 years. Economy of Nigeria is already in the hole, in the gutters. Tifnumbu came. He didn't tell anybody how he was going to change it or fix it, no. He just said, hope is here. And it would continue from wherever Buhari will stop. Scary stuff. And I actually did a program on it that I said, for Tifnumbu coming to tell you that he was going to continue from where Buhari will stop is actually a threat to your life. And I was right. In fact, I am right. So what are they doing to change the whole thing? Apart from all the talks, no action, I'll tell you. Instead of them to first come clean and say, listen, this is the total amount of money that we have managed, for now, to discover that have been stolen or mismanaged by Buhari's government. Let that shattering truth first hit all Nigerians first. Be honest. How much money did Nigeria lose in 8 years? And who are those who supervised that? I can tell you, I can write you a blank check, okay? The truth will start from telling you that Nigeria lost over 500 billion US dollars. Move frame them that way. Or better still, you can put it and say Nigeria lost over 600 trillion naira. 600 trillion naira to criminals, APC criminals in 8 years. Both federal, state, and local across Nigeria. They depleted Nigeria. You know what they call the real shakedown. Now, if you say that, that would then begin to give Nigerians the idea of the mess they are in. You can't print money. You cannot print money out of this. You cannot print money or print your way, or sorry, mint money or mint your way out of this. You can't. You cannot use propaganda to get out of this mess. You can't. You cannot use brainwashing, blame game. No. You have to be honest. And talking about honesty, is like looking for a diamond, inside the pig shit. You know what I mean? Like, you just go to the piggery, and then you see the pig shit, and you begin to look for diamond inside there. APC, Egbekegbe, Nigeria establishment, and truth in the same sentence, on the same line. It's impossible. They won't do it. Conspiracy here and there. They have emptied Nigeria. Nigeria foreign reserve is a patry $2 billion. Tori Olong. Omo, I don't know how to explain it to you, but since they are not going to be honest, and they are going to be manufacturing different excuses. You see, when they come honest, when they come clean, that time, then you begin to pick everybody who got what. Malamu, that got over 2 trillion naira from Nigeria for being your minister of Attorney General of Nigeria. Malamu alone made over 2 trillion naira. And I'm just being generous. You know what? There's a particular one, quick one, They were negotiating the return of Abacha loot to Nigeria. All right? And the money, they've negotiated everything under Goodluck Egbere Jonathan, all sorted. Then Jonathan lost election and Buhari came in. And Buhari appointed Malamu as Attorney General of Nigeria. So Malamu's office, which is the office of the Attorney General of Nigeria, was the same office that put together the lawyers from their own office to fight the case in the UK. And then they won the case in the UK, and the money was about to be returned. $1.something billion. And Buhari came in. All they had to do was just to say, yes, we are ready to receive the money, and sign the paper, and the UK will release the money to them. Do you know what Malamu did? Malamu decided to go and hire different legal team outside the office of the Attorney General, inside the Attorney General's office, Ministry of Justice of Nigeria, where the Minister of Justice and Attorney General supervises. It is filled with like senior lawyers for different cases. They are there to represent the federal government of Nigeria, locally and internationally. They are paid by the ministry to represent Nigeria. Those ones, before these criminals did their job, okay? And they were expecting the payment. And these criminals came in. Malamu decided to hire another different group of lawyers. Those group of lawyers, they now stood in as those who are renegotiating the transfer of the loot, Abacha loot. For being in that position, Malamu said they are entitled to 18% of the money. After Nigeria paid them, Nigeria paid them for doing nothing. Then they got another 18% of the total money returned, What is 18% of a $1.6 billion? You can go and do your math. That's how much Malamu cashed out. On this issue of oil bunkering, stealing of Nigeria crude oil, the sale between the NNPC, Ministry of Justice, where Malamu was, and the Central Bank of Nigeria, once they begin to pick them, once they begin to shake them, they can at least shake more than 20 trillion naira from these guys. And I'm not being so exaggerative right now. I'm being very much real and even generous. Do you understand? But unfortunately, they are telling Nigerians that they will bear the brunt. So what is Tinubu doing to change this economic misfortune? Okay. The first step, since there is no money in the Nigerian foreign reserve, no money in the Nigerian excess crude account, no money in anywhere, whatever is coming from Nigerian taxes, 98% of that is going into repayment, into servicing debts, not even repayment of debt. Nigeria indebtedness now has crossed over $150 billion. And that is just those ones on the book. We don't know those who are off the books. The Sukuk loan and other loans that they have not kind of listed. Yeah? $150 billion worth of poverty. That's an expensive poverty that Buhari left Nigeria with. But he's cool enough in Daura. Everybody is cool enough wherever they are. At this Irika, right before the Nigerians' very highs, this one happened though. Baba, aviation minister scammed the whole country. Not once, not twice, 3 times. And the 3 times, he cashed out over 87 billion naira. Now one person, just the scam that became public, not those ones behind the curtains. At this Irika, somebody who spent 21 billion launching ordinary logo to celebrate Nigeria airline. Nigeria here, Nigeria here. 21 billion naira. No probe, no nothing. He did it the first time. He did it the second time. He went to the Shena Kenya, which airway he went to that time? He went to an airway in Africa to make a deal that they should help Nigeria paint one single aircraft and fly it to Nigeria and tell Nigerians that they have made a deal with Ethiopian airline. And now Ethiopia airline from Ethiopia is going to be supplying Nigeria with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of aircraft that will be carrying the sticker of Nigeria here. When they did all the abracadabra, hired a plane, called the journalist, they appeared in Nigeria, in that same Nigeria airport too. And everybody was saying, congratulations, congratulations, Baba, V. Like magic, want to say no be another 20 billion, no. And that is me just been having it. 38 billion naira. In all of this billion that this Rika was spending, it got to a stage, to further deceive Nigerians. Shebina is the aviation minister. They decided to paint a corner in every airport in Nigeria, and they called it Nigeria Air Corner. Because Nigeria here is still coming. Okay? We are working on it. Baba, 2 days before this Adisirika finally bowed out as aviation minister in Nigeria, the rogue under Buhari commissioned 14 trucks, fire trucks in the airport. 14 fire trucks for 14 billion naira. 1 billion naira per truck. He did it. He's cool enough in the palace that he has built for himself. In that same Sharia North, where insulting the prophet is haram. Touching, or what do you call it? Insulting their affairs is haram. Unfortunately, kidnapping is not haram. Corruption is not haram. Sodomy is not haram. Rape is not haram. Terrorism is not haram. Stealing public funding is not haram. Ladies and gentlemen, this bunch of thieves, they are cooling off right now in northern Nigeria, and they are being called. In fact, a lot of them are waiting. Some of them have become governors. Some have become senators. Others, they are just waiting for the next election so that they can run for president. That's from the north, though. When it comes to looting and destroying Nigeria, there is no part that knows how to do it best than the other. As the northern criminals are doing their own best in ruining Nigeria, southern criminals are doing their own best too in ruining Nigeria under the same APC. Off your mic, off your mic. Honorable Minister, Honorable Minister, off your mic. Because over 4 trillion naira of NDDC money developed wings under these criminals, APC, Ogoni land cleaning, the entire environment of Niger Delta that have become, totally destroyed due to oil exploration and corruption. Baba, the money budgeted for them developed wings. The man that supervised the ministry that stood for over 4 trillion naira, that became a public probe, is the Senate President of Nigeria today. So tell me how they created the dead horse and how they are fighting it and what's different now. Because under Tifnumbu, how can we fight all of this now? Okay, maybe we should borrow money. And they want to do it by also lying to you. Lying to you. Buhari lied to you. They helped Buhari and Pastor Ruga to lie to you. A lot of you believed their lies, and some of you believed that you are actually making some sacrifices, that very soon Nigeria will be fine. They went borrowing so that you can go sorrowing. Today, a lot of you are sorrowing in the economy they created, and they are still lying to you because that's what they do best. They will never tell you the truth. When they came in and they know that Nigeria is a dead horse standing, what stops them from telling you that they will not do exactly what Buhari did? And what did Buhari do? They created the Buharinomic. Buharinomic is a place whereby every economic logic, every logical thing that you might try to apply to all the other world economies, you can never put them beside Nigeria. If Nigeria tells you they are doing this particular economy and you begin to compare them to Singapore, compare them to this, compare them to that, you are doing yourself a great disservice. Because the criminals who are handling Nigeria, especially under Buhari and still under Tifnumbu, they have their own economy. And the economies are called Buharinomic and Tifnumbunomic. Tifnumbunomic is going to be even worse. Under Buhari, they shared 500 billion naira without using the bank. They handed 500 billion naira to 12 million people. That's what they said. Ridiculous, Abi. Impossible, Abi. That's why I said, logically, when they are talking about world economies, please do not put Nigeria economy, whatever lies this guy tells you, do not put Nigeria economy by the side of any other economy in the world and begin to measure them. You would probably regret doing so. So what are they doing right now? Under Buhari, instead of them to be honest with their looting and stealing, right? They were not. What did they do? They went on borrowing. And they will come and tell you, you see, you need to trust Buhari is an honest person. Sure, you get, if he borrows money, they're not going to steal the money. It is for the investment in Nigeria and all that. After 8 years, not just that, secretly, they were printing money as well. Okay? So they printed so much that Nigeria inflation has become hyper inflation. You understand? So after 8 years, Nigeria is now in debt of over 150 billion naira, the real one. So what is Tifnumbu doing differently? Let's take a look at that. In 2 months, 2 months, since they know that they have inherited a dead horse standing, what have they done? They also have secretly, they have started borrowing. You see this subsidy removal and the lies that they are using as a facade to cover it up, in another few months, they will pay up, and all of you will come to that reality too. Abi, Buhari was going to fix your refineries, and he was going to build new one. Buhari was going to generate 10,000 megawatt electricity, distribute 10,000 megawatt electricity every year, and they were supposed to give you 80,000 megawatt of electricity in 8 years. Today, they met Nigeria generated electricity at 6,000, 7,000 at 8,000 megawatt electricity. Today, then distributing at least 3,500 megawatt electricity. Today, after 8 years of APC, and after trillions of your money expended and stolen, they are still generating 8,000 megawatt electricity, and they are distributing even far less now. So what have they done? Tifnumbu secretly, he has taken $750 million loan to improve electricity in Nigeria. They didn't tell you that, Abi. They have taken $500 million loan to empower women in Nigeria. They have taken $890 million loan as palliative, subsidy removal palliative, the money they said they will share to you, including the bag of rice they will give to you. All of that, $890 million is a loan. So you know. You see this, since the foreign reserve of Nigeria has further depleted, and Nigeria is currently bleeding forex, where they can no longer have access, they are no longer having access to this forex because of the oil thieves. So what have they done? The Naira continue to take a serious fall. They are lying to you. Under Buhari, APC, Egbekegbe said the reason why the dollar and Naira was falling was because some people stole money in Nigeria. They were keeping the dollars. That's why the Naira to dollar was, the gap was 200 Naira. Later, they said those who are speculators, those who are hiding the dollar, they are now those who are speculating, selling the dollars at the highest rate. That's why the dollar jumped to 700 Naira to $1. Later, they said, no. It was those who were selling the dollars under the trees in Abuja. We need to cut down all the trees in Abuja to stop those who are selling dollars under the tree from selling them so that Naira can regain its strength. They cut down trees in Abuja. Naira didn't regain its strength because the same round tripping, the same criminal arrangement behind the scene, they were still very much in place. In fact, they were growing greedier and greedier and greedier. So they couldn't stop because there was no attempt or any intention of stopping them. So they are putting the whole blame on anything they could see, anyone they could blame. So what have they done on that Tifnumbu differently? Nothing. They said the reason why petrol have suddenly jumped from 180 Naira, 87 Naira, to over 600 Naira. In fact, you see this story. You see when I told you, logically nothing make logical sense because the economy they are creating, they are not real. They are not real. You cannot make any projection on them that is any way positive. These are criminals who are doing what they know how to do best, fooling everybody. And the rest of you, whether you are a businessman or businesswoman or whatever you are being fooled to even believe them. They are doing the same thing. Subsidy was supposed to be a scam, but we don't know the scammers. They continue to collect trillions. Listen, before these guys came in, Nigeria was paying 200, 400 billion a year for fuel subsidy. And they were selling a fuel at 87 Naira per liter. These criminals came in, and they said subsidy was a scam. They removed it. Fuel jumped to 160 Naira to a liter. Right? But secretly, they were still paying the subsidy. To who? But surprisingly, the subsidy that was 200 billion, 400 billion, suddenly jumped to 1 trillion, 1.4 trillion, 2 trillion, 3 trillion, 4 trillion a year. Who were you paying this money to? They were paying the money to themselves. Abi, that's the subsidy Tinubu announced that he has removed. And that's why you are suffering. But secretly, we are not paying subsidy anymore. We are saving money from subsidy, which is also another lie. So what are they doing? They said the reason why Nigeria is not paying subsidy anymore. May everybody go to buy their fuel from wherever they can get the fuel from. So which means if I have money and I want to bring 1 million liters of petrol to Nigeria, I can go to Egypt. I can go to Niger. I can go to Sweden. I can go to any part of the world and bring the 1 million liters to Nigeria. So when I begin to calculate the cost of bringing it to Nigeria, and I realize that if I have to sell it to any of you in Nigeria, I can only sell it to make profit and cover all my costs, inflation and this degenerating naira. I can only sell it to you for 900 naira per liter. That's my business. Abi, another person can go to anywhere and come around and say, he will only sell his own for 400 naira per liter. So quality check and all of that is on the government. The choice of where you buy from is yours. So if your government says we are not giving that money to them anymore, you want to use that money on something else, in all honesty, it would have been the best idea, but it's a lie. It is a lie. Because they remove fuel subsidy. Then they remove subsidy from fuel, as they told you. They now put the subsidy on dollars so that their friends can access dollars cheaper. Not you, businessmen and women. Not me, that want to go to anywhere and buy the fuel. I'm not their friend. If I want to buy the dollar to bring fuel to Nigeria, I would have to pay the market exchange for dollar. What is market exchange for dollar? 925 naira to a dollar. That's how much I'll pay. Because I'm not their friend. But their friend would have to go and collect a dollar for maybe 300 naira per dollar. Maybe 200 naira per dollar. Nigeria will bear the cost. So where is the dollar coming from? Is it from the sale of the crude oil? Or from where? We have no idea before until NNPC decided to rescue Nigeria. They decided to go and borrow money. NNPC, after they did all of the stealing of crude oil, that nobody knows how much exactly did Nigeria make from crude oil between 2015 and 2023. Can Tinubu's government tell Nigerians? I mean, if you really want to be honest, if you are indeed, you want to help them, you need to tell them the truth. You need to tell them who are those who are keeping their money. You are not keeping it, Abi, and you have no intention of doing so. Nah, I'm asking for too much, Abi. NNPC got sold. I have never seen anything like this in my life. NNPC, like Saudi, what do they call Saudi National Oil Company? Aramco. What do you call the Russian oil, National Oil Company? What do you call them? They have a name. Hey, you help me anyway. Nigeria's National Petroleum is NNPC. Everybody who is in NNPC in Nigeria, they are civil servants, yo. They are civil servants like Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Information, all these people, they are civil servants, Nigeria civil servants, Russian National Oil Company, Gazprom, God bless you. So it's like, oil and gas is one of the main economic booster for Russia, forex earner for them. And they will never allow that to go into the wrong hands. In Nigeria, under Buhari, after, what they did do, NNPC. NNPC was supposed to monitor the sale of Nigeria crude oil, ensure that Nigeria is never cheated. Nigerians are not cheated. The interest of Nigeria comes first. They work for government of Nigeria. But guess what? They work against Nigerians. And they continue to do so. With so much impunity, audacity. And then you begin to ask, are Nigerians really, really, really smart? Or we are actually so dumb? Or is it that the number of dumb people, maybe not dumb, oppressed and broken people, Maybe we are actually broken people, because this doesn't make any sense. Government institution paid, government staff paid for by Nigerian taxpayers. They suddenly, overnight, after robbing Nigerians for years, Nigerians have no idea of how much of their crude oil is being pumped, how much is being sold, to who and for how much, and what is the money being used for. They have no idea. But we woke up one morning, they have sold NNPC. How much did you sell NNPC? How much? And paid to who? I don't understand. Nigeria lost trillions, hundreds of trillions of naira, hundreds of billions of dollars to these fraudsters. Poverty skyrocketed in Nigeria. Unemployment skyrocketed in Nigeria. Terrorism skyrocketed in Nigeria. Crime at the highest that we've ever seen in Nigeria, because some minute number of people were able to capture the national resources of the country, the national wealth of a country, and they had the audacity, after that so much depletion, they sold it off for free. To who? And having sold an NNPC, having removed subsidy, which means Nigeria can no longer pay it. NNPC no longer represents Nigeria. It now represents the interest of some investors, some business people who are there to make profits. So why would NNPC go and borrow money to rescue Nigeria naira, $3 billion on behalf of Nigeria, and they will give crude oil to that people who gave them the money? So they handed over the $3 billion cash to the Central Bank of Nigeria, so as to control the free fall of naira. Have you ever thought about that? Watching me right now, that I've just told you. Who does that? Who does this amount of fraud on a population of 200 million people? And people are currently they have no idea. And the same NNPC is coming to talk about the price of petrol. No, it will never go up. Oh, it will never be this. Who the hell are you? You no longer should have a say here if you have been truly privatized. But they did that. And the NNPC that is privatized under Buhari has joined the league of those who are secretly trying to further dip Nigeria in, well, the abyss of nothingness. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. No. That is not economic recovery. Everything else doesn't make sense. Nigeria, the capital of unemployed people in the world, woke up one morning without doing anything. And they said Nigeria has no unemployment problem anymore. In fact, Nigeria is fully employed. Like how? How? Is that the economic recovery? Right. Maybe I should just let you see this a bit before we continue, okay? Kolu was... So, again, before I go into this, another plan to recover the economy of Nigeria. When Emefiele did all of his abracadabra, looting and stealing with Buhari and the rest of them, they decided to launch an app, and they called it e-Naira. They targeted us in the diaspora. We, the people that have been rescuing Nigeria since these unfortunate beings have infected Nigeria. We have been rescuing Nigeria with our remittances. But we have no say. They say we don't have a say in what goes on in Nigeria. We should mind our businesses. We should stay wherever we are. We should mind whatever is going on. But when we go back to Nigeria, we become the victims of a ruined country by ruinous ruiners called rulers. We become victims of a poor health care system. We become victims of the high and increasing crime. We become victims of kidnapping. We become victims of terrorism. We become victims of so many unfortunate things that are befalling Nigeria, courtesy of these failed criminals that you called leaders. We don't have a say, but they continue to target us. They wanted a bite of that money that we send back to Nigeria. They love that. They love the smell of that pound sterling, the smell of that American dollars, Canadian dollars, even the Saudi riyal. And all those money, because when they all entered Nigeria, they enter with so much arrogance. When dollar enter Nigeria, now like this, they work. When pound sterling enter Nigeria, now like this, they work. Most of these currencies around the world, they always humble the naira. And you see the naira there and say, you're welcome. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, ma. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, ma. The naira has become so humbled that the difference between Nigerian naira and the Zimbabwe dollar, the only difference is just the wheelbarrow that people use this in conveying, or should I say, it's just what you use in conveying that your naira or that your currency. That's the difference right now, almost valueless because of these guys. E-naira. E-naira is all lies. E-naira to help to boost naira is all lies. You cannot boost naira, okay, by not investing in the economy for real, okay? If you don't invest in the real Nigerians, if you don't invest that every money you have in the real economy of Nigeria, not in the pocket and private pocket of your friends and your lackeys, there is no amount of all this arrangement of let us work together and boost the naira that will ever work. It's not real. It's not real. Majority of the money we send back to Nigeria are money that goes into paying for serviceables, for services. People want to eat. They want to pay rent. They want to pay medical bill. They want to pay school fees. They want to do this. They want to do that. And then those who are actually like putting structure in like projects in Nigeria. But majority of the money we send back to Nigeria goes into paying for serviceables. They are not money that will in fact boost the economy of Nigeria. Our money is only rescuing Nigerians. The money we send to Nigeria. The real investment in the people in Nigeria starts with the right policies that are not laced with criminality like this. You took $890 million. You share the money. You want to share the money to people to take them out of poverty by giving them 80,000 naira, 10,000 naira. Buhari was sharing 500 billion naira every year. They were not even bold to say to all of you that they were budgeting for a single ministry over 500 billion naira, money that was going into their different pockets. And yet, instead of poverty to end, poverty skyrocketed in Nigeria. You don't buy your way out of poverty. You can't. So now, when the e-naira, no fly, I told you, I said e-naira is all lies. They want to control that money. They want to control that forex. 36 billion every year. No be jokey. The money we give to Nigeria every year, we in the diaspora, is like times 10 of how much money you generate from the crude oil. Should I say that again? Because the majority of the money from your crude oil, they go straight into the pocket of these criminals. They don't come to Nigeria. This Nigeria could not confidently tell all of you that they made $10 billion from sale of crude oil in Nigeria in a year because they've depleted the whole thing. But Nigerians in diaspora, myself inclusive, right? We remit over $36 billion to Nigeria, over $36 billion from around the world to rescue and feed Nigeria and Nigerians to keep the economy running. They couldn't do that. When they took loans, infrastructural projects that could actually change lives, they never invested in them. They only used them as collateral of taking these loans, this money, and then they had no intention of having them work for you. How many times would they tell you that the Kaduna-Abuja train is going to start operation? How many times? How many times have they told you the Lagos Blue Line is going to start operation? How many times did they commission them? How many times have they told you that they've completed Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, East-West Road? How many times have they told you Ajaokuta Steel Mill roars back to life? How many times? All these are just pure conduit pipe of fleecing and then stealing from you, all of us. So Tifnumbu is doing the same thing, and they are not even being honest. So when you know that they are not honest, they are not telling you the old truth, that's enough for you never to believe any jargons that they say. I don't. I'll show you something inside the Aso Rock Villa.
Chairman of the Nigeria Economic Summit Group, Olani Yusuf, before all other members here present, I say thank you very much for your patience, for your support, for your encouragement in every way possible. The twists and turns is always going to be there in any democratic journey. And the economic turbulence that we ran into is not without silver lining. We believe in the courage of bold endeavors. And it can only be driven by a serious collaboration with the private sector and the public sector. Strong adherence to accountability and transparency in every way possible. We have gone through the past.
I don't want to traumatize you for too much, okay? But I was calling talking about we have to do things transparently. They are not going to do anything transparently. Under him, I remember, under Buhari, at a point, these guys, apart from them developing different kind of ways to steal your money from your bank account, different taxes and all of that to steal your money. They were doing all of those, and they were able to raise a lot of money fraudulently because they could. They are the central bank. They are the law. They are the policy makers. So they were fleecing Nigerians through that. Then when they were done, they started looking at the pensioners, and it is called the pension fund. And they felt like, okay, hang on, we need money. Since we need money, why don't we just borrow from the 21 trillion pension fund? You know, Nigeria, where you see all the pensioners suffering and all that, because their own gratuities are not paid or their pensions are not paid, Abi? It may feel contemplated off. Well, we could just borrow like maybe 10 trillion from the money, and then we can raise a bond. Bond is that they will just say, all of you, come and buy. We want you to come and buy, let's say, 10 trillion naira worth of bond. Okay? We'll give you the money in a year. If you buy the shares, if you buy that bond, you don't worry about what we do with the money. Just give us the money. So in a year time, okay, we are going to put so amount back. So if you put in 100 naira, you're likely going to get 125 naira. The more you put in that bond, so what they did was that, okay, we wanted to go and take 10 trillion. So to make the pensioners feel like, no, your money is not gone, no, we are not, no, your money is fine. What we are trying to do is that just to assure the people that we will give them the money back if they raise 10 trillion for us. That's why I want to tell them that there is a 21 trillion in an account, pension fund. So we want to use part of it, okay, that we want to guarantee them that they will get their money back, okay? Meanwhile, we are not going to use your money. We have another money we are going to use, but we need to take this 10 trillion. They shall put all of this economic scam together. A way of, okay, quick cash, let's get quick cash, let's get quick cash. Emefiole did that. Then at a point when they were done, they were, Ewa, do you know that there is more than 11 trillion naira inside some dormant accounts, dead people's accounts? That's what they said. They said some dead people in Nigeria who left money in their banks and they've not touched that money for years. So their accounts are dormant. Nobody came to collect the money. There is some hidden 11 trillion there all over the banks in Nigeria. So the Central Bank of Nigeria was like, since the owners are dead or they are no longer in Nigeria, maybe we should just take the money. That's what they said, though. So they started contemplating which kind of policy are we going to call it so that every dormant account in Nigeria, we can take all the money and spend it. Like ridiculous, yeah? It's like somebody having your own card pin, your cash card pin. And then they just feel like, and they know your card number, and they feel like, for the past, imagine, for the past 3 months, you have not spent a dime from your bank account through your card. Does that mean that you don't even have the card anymore? You don't use it or you don't even care any? Let me just, let me go and take 10,000 naira from that account. Maybe you will not notice. And if you notice, I'll just tell you that I'll give you back. Okay? It's just for now, since you're not using it. That's what Central Bank of Nigeria was doing. I can't really tell you if they were able to succeed to take money from those dormant accounts. Before I left Nigeria 11 years ago, Baba, I remember I had a bank account, Diamond Bank. I've been an Access Bank, then NNPC. So from this Diamond Bank account of mine, I remember I left 15,000 naira or so inside that account. And up to this day, the account is probably dead and my 15,000 naira gone. Now, if you have about 10, 15, 20 million Nigerians who have left Nigeria in the last 10 years, and a lot of you who have money in your bank account, or some of you who are abroad, who are sending money into your bank account in Nigeria, okay, for a long time, and you've not had a chance of going to Nigeria, I know all of you have different stories of how your money has sort of depleted or even gone completely. Now, that's also another policy of Tifnumbu right now. They are looking into the dormant accounts. Those money cannot be there, and Nigeria will be suffering. Nigeria will be broke. So they will need to do it they will need to use your money for the sake of national development. Another policy of Buhari that didn't probably get completed is now receiving an attention under Tifnumbu. They are looking into it. They are also looking into all of us again in diaspora. Inira didn't work. The Inira app that they put together to collect money. They were even wanted to bribe us. They said, don't send your money through those people we send money through anymore. Don't send the money through them. Come and send the money through the central bank app, Inira app. And in fact, if you do that, we are going to give you 500 naira for every 100 pound sterling you send. Every $100 you send to your family members, send them through us so that they can give your family members naira and they can keep your pound sterling. They can keep your dollars. And by so doing, they will be able to mop up enough foreign exchange. The ones that they allowed their friends, the one they couldn't get from the crude oil, that they have handed over to their friends who are making hell of billions of dollars from Nigeria. Baba, even you, where they watch me right now, who think you have never been, you can never be Bill Gates, you can never be Elon Musk, you can never be Dangote. Even if not just one month, you. Okay, Shakasha supply 1 month. If not just 1 month supply, last song, that you should be taking 100,000 crude oil of Nigeria, free of charge. Go and sell it to wherever you can sell it to every day. 100,000 every day. 1 million every 10 days. 3 million barrel of crude oil every month. Just 1 month, they give you 3 million barrel of Nigeria crude oil. Go and sell it at $50 per barrel. Baba, you are already a billionaire. By the time they pay you your millions in dollars, Baba, you are already a billionaire. So Nigeria had no money from its own main forex earner, crude oil. So they decided to come and target all of us. The 21st century, what do you call it? Sorry, if you feel bad about this, I don't. Okay? We are the 21st century slaves. Okay? That are now earning money for those who have enslaved our people back in Nigeria. And those of us, they couldn't enslave in Nigeria. We are now kind of economically sold out to our colonizers. Whatever money, whatever success, whatever riches or wealth we come across abroad, they believe that we'll bring them back to Nigeria. Do you understand? We are the ones who are now earning. So they are targeting us. If the crude oil cannot give them the dollars, you and I will give them the dollars. So if all of us can come together as the 21st century slaves that are now earning forex for Nigeria, $36 billion is not small money. Yes, send the money. Send the 20% of that money through us. We know the money is still coming here, but we want the cash. You want the whole raw cash of that money. Don't send it to your family members like that anymore. Send them through us. We'll give them the naira. Give us the money. That's the policy. We are the target. We are the cash cow. Sure, you know, diasporans. But they will never even be bold enough. Bunch of criminals, bunch of cowards. They will not be bold enough to even acknowledge that and say, diasporans has been saving Nigeria since this unfortunate epidemic befell Nigeria. The criminals, the ruinous criminals in Nigeria. So they're targeting us. Tifnubu is targeting us again as well. They want the diasporans to send the money through them to revive the economy of Nigeria. Don't send your money the way you do anymore. Send it through the central bank. Send it through the government app. You are the future of Nigeria. The recovery of Nigeria depends on you. You will begin to see the messages soon. They're going to go abroad. They're going to come around here and talk to some of you who are going to help them organize the town hall meetings to come and lie to your people. But it won't work. Sure you get. It's the era of do as I say, not as I do, is gone. People are more enlightened now, and nobody is going to help a roguish, illegitimate government, by the way. That is the economic recovery of Tifnumbu. So if you are looking and waiting for it, their recovery is to recover the economy of their friends, not yours. And they will do so with boldness and lies. I'll take a small break before I continue. Ladies and gentlemen, when this guy said swearing in Tifnumbu is the end of democracy in Nigeria, this month of September, the tribunal in Nigeria will give a ruling on the charade you called election in 2023. But these words,
calls of the people violating the constitution, let them even go ahead, even if they swear in Tinubu Shetima on 29th of May. They are swearing in an unconstitutional government. Nothing will change it. I am not a careless, reckless speaker. I am working with the constitution there, that document, right, you just read. I'm following it. And I dare to tell you that swearing in Tinubu and Shetima is as good as swearing in the Nigerian army on 29th of May. If you swear in people that have not satisfied the requirement, you have, by so doing, ended democracy. The crisis I'm telling you now is that this, our democracy, is going to end. By the way we are going, this democracy is going to end on the 29th of May, 2023. Please write it.
Those are extreme,
you know my
those
name.
Are extreme thoughts.
I am very, very happy to say it. You know my name. You introduced me.
Yeah.
Listen, don't stop.
I will, because those are extreme thoughts. You know why? Because there are allowable language to be used on television, especially as it relates to our nation and the unity of this country.
Put your question and let me answer you. Put your question. I know what I'm saying.
If there is an official...
If you breach the Constitution...
But is it not left to the court to decide otherwise?
This is already decided by the courts.
But the authority in charge of election gave a declaration.
Sherwin, if you are afraid for some things, don't ask for them.
I am not afraid. I will, as a citizen of the country, by the ethics and the guidelines of my profession, live by it.
Yes.
What is lawful? And I hope that you're a lawful citizen of the country.
And
so whatever the stipulation of the law guides, if you are aggrieved about something, you go to the court to seek redress, isn't it?
This document is a product of the legal system. It has been signed into law by the President, Commander-in-Chief, Federal Republic of Nigeria. I believe in this document. That is why I'm so lawful. That is why I'm so confident. And that is why however extreme it is, Sheung, I am saying it on national TV. I don't like to take risks. I'm not taking any risks. Swearing in a ticket that has not met the constitutional requirements of the Constitution, okay, is ending democracy. Quote me on it.
That's your interpretation.
That is my interpretation, and that is indeed a correct interpretation. You cannot swear people who have not met the constitutional requirement. You can't do that. If you did it, you have done something unlawful, something unconstitutional, and I'm repeating it. Whoever does not meet the constitutional requirement must never be sworn in. You said my name. If you like, I can say it again. I'm Dr. Baba Ahmed. I'm not taking risks with my safety and with my life. But I'm repeating, swear in anybody who does not meet the constitutional requirements of our country, you are engaging in an unconstitutional act. Mr. President, do not hold that inauguration. CJ and your lordship, do not partake in unconstitutionality. I am taking these risks for the sake of my country. Yes, it is extreme, and I'm saying it. It was more extreme for Yakubu to issue that certificate. It was reckless. He is putting all our lives in danger. All of us. We're already at risk. So what is there again in me taking risks again? What have they not done against Nigeria? What have they not abused in Nigeria? Now they'll take the Constitution where it is clear, it says, and get 24. After that, and...